Sorry guys, we had a bit of a meltdown there. The PC had crashed and unfortunately losing out on some amazing racing. We are picking up the action here with having got 5 minutes that have still to go. Ricky B out in front, he's got 20 seconds as the gap there. Raphael, he's leading this battle. There he is in a third place, being followed by James Reese, and then it is Ian Memo in a 7th place, then Tyron down in 8th, and Sinjim is down in a 9th place. Oh, little spin there for Ian, but he did manage to hang on to that. So I do have Duncan who's joined me in the commentary box this evening. Duncan, you're able to see some of the racing a little bit early on. What did you think of this track and car combination so far? Just hold on, we've got James, just pulling out of that move right at the end there. This car and track combination, what are your thoughts? Fair enough. Oh, I see. Now that you have gone full time into Assetto Corsa, is it? I do agree with you. However, that if you know that this is Project Cars and you know that you're able to let their car slide, you can be a little bit more aggressive here. Whereas when you go back to Assetto Corsa, you've got to be a little bit more refined, and you should be able to get around the two. That's provided that you don't want to specialize in the one, of course. I'm just going to turn my Discord camera off just to see whether that helps, because I see that the stream is just taking a little bit of pain here this evening. Little kick of the rear there for James, getting lots of pressure. Will Ian have a look to the inside? He is definitely having a show, but he is going to run wide, just catching the curb on the exit. But that could be a slow down warning there for him. And I must say the drivers are definitely going to be working here this evening, making use of that wheel left and right, especially through this little inside section here. So James still fighting hard here with Raphael. Raphael currently in 3rd place, doing an absolutely sterling job here. Well, James, we try and have a look around the outside, going through the kink at turn number 1. Raphael just lets that car just slide to the outside, just blocking off that line. You can see as James gets that power on, that rear just has a little let go. Jumps in, lots of inside curb there for him. That's a great line through there. James making a move to the inside, not close enough yet, and that is allowing Ian to close up. A little kick of the rear there for James. Ian now tries to go wide around the outside. One minute 41 to go. And James and Raphael are now side by side. It looks like James is going to have the upper hand here going into the turn number 1 now. Then on the brakes, just allowing enough space around the outside. But now Raphael has got I'm so confused what's happening. I see that the Killer Dave is here. He's actually moved up into 2nd place. That's all making sense now. because now we've got Raphael who's in a 4th place, then Ian followed by Reese right behind them, and just behind them where we have Memo who's 13 seconds away, but you can just see how the guys are battling to get the power down on these cars. 15 laps in. The next race will be a 26 lap race, and you can see Ricky B doing less than a minute. That's a 57-second there for him. And Ian got a run on, but Reese is now going to have a look as well. This is going to be very close. Reese just forcing his way up on the inside. Great overtake. Oh, little tag at the back there. But now you can see that Ian has now dropped back down to 6th place, even though he was able to make that move. But now too wide. That's very, very deep there for that move. Reese is now going to have to go around the outside, and there's been contact. That is, Raphael has been spun around. And as that happens, Ricky B, he's now going to be approaching into the last corner. There's no more time left for this first heat. He's going to slide that car around as he prepares to cross the start-finish line. So it will be a Ricky B in a 1st place. Then a Dave in 2nd, Reese 3rd. But it does look like these guys are still having a race. Ooh, little lock up there for James, and that's why I said you can definitely land up on the infield there. Very, very late lunge, and I'm not sure how they managed to miss each other there. But we are still fighting here for positions, as James is fighting really hard to keep that car pinned as he tries to get that power down, get the drive out of the corner. Oh, great late dive there for Reese as he now moves himself up, and it is James who's sliding that car sideways, and in the background, I don't know who that was, who was going sideways. There it is. So that is Say Jim. Absolutely incredible sideways action there for him. Just getting the final positions, just so that we were able to give the drivers their starting positions for the next race, because now we'll have Raphael finished off in the 6th place. He'll be starting on the top spot in 1st. Then in a 2nd will be Ian. James will start off in 3rd place, with Reese in 4th. Dave in 5th place, Ricky B in 6th. So we're just going to return back to the lobby just to give the guys the driving orders, and we'll get ready for the 2nd heat.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, your back talks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, guys, the starting positions for the next race are as follows. We'll have Raphael starting off in first, Ian in second place, James third, Reese fourth, Dave fifth, Ricky B in sixth place, followed by Memo, Tyron, and Jim. Talks, have you joined us?
I am here, thanks.
Okay, as well as Mafira. I'm not sure why you guys disconnected there.
Yeah, just kick me on the start.
Type and mandatory pit stop, please, Dylan.
What do you mean?
Be rolling.
No.
Start type should be rolling, and mandatory pit stop should. Oh no, it's standing, and then mandatory pit stop on. Yes.
That is correct. Yeah, it is on. Just check that. It should update now.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. So what will happen is, Raf, no pressure. You will just lead the guys around. Just remember, guys, if you need a driver to overtake you, just stay on the left-hand side, just so that the guys can get around you on the right. Raphael, once you start going through you can see on the map where that blue sector is. Once you turn left onto that back straight, then it just starts slowing down, just so that everybody is in single file going into the start-finish line.
Okay. And let's watch that first corner again, please, because I got nicely rammed from behind a couple of times there. And I also rammed accidentally a Rebellion 23, so I'm sorry about that.
It's okay, the Shadow Realm is nice.
Okay.
Alright guys, let's go racing, 26 laps, here we go. Right guys, we are back. Apologies if you did miss some of the first heat. Is the stream unfortunately went down, a little bit of a technical issue, still having these weird gremlins with the PC, but the fan has been repositioned and it does all seem to be working the way we wanted to. Ricky B, he ran away with that first heat, and he will score 6 points for his efforts there. Just in terms of the standings, we do have Ricky B, who is on top, and he is 9 points clear of Sly Pete, who unfortunately not racing here this evening. We've got Reese, he's in third place, 119 for Sly Pete. Reese, 93 points there for him. Dane, he's in fourth place overall, also not here this evening. Raphael, a great result, will definitely leapfrog him ahead of both Dane and Pete. Colin not racing this evening, as well as Yanni. They're in 6th and 7th place respectively. Remember, he's in 8th place with 62. Also some points here will move him further up the order. James in 9th place, he's ahead of St. Jim with Rebellion in 11th. Killer Dave, he's in 12th place with Mafira at 13. Donovan in 14th place with Marius in 15, and Ian down in a 16th position. So guys, we are going to be going into a rolling start, allowing the drivers just to move to the left, which will allow the drivers to pass on the right hand side, and that will then set us up for the rolling start, single file here for the 26 lap race with a mandatory pit stop. I am going to try really hard to just keep notes of who's stopped and who has not, because that definitely does just assist a little bit.
I'm back.
Fantastic.
Sorry, I needed a cup of tea.
Oh, I could do with a cup of tea.
Can't really help you on that one.
I think it's the few thousand kilometers that is part of that problem, right?
Well, to Tyler's house, it's 7,200. Might go cold before it gets there.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
It didn't take about 7 days to get there by post.
Not with our postal service, unfortunately. It might not get you. You can ask Ross about sending me something from Scotland. It took over it took over a year.
Well, crying out loud.
Right, so everybody is currently in position, and we have asked Raphael just to start backing down the guys here on the start-finish line. Just let everybody get into a single file, nice and slow as we get ourselves towards the start-finish line. But there we go, we are racing heat number 2 here at Ruapuna Park, and it looks like it's going to be a 4 wide, 3 wide going into turn number 1, now into turn 2. Tricky on the brakes is that corner because the car wants to be sliding to the outside of the track, and all you want to do is just keep trying to turn it to the left. There's a little kick of the rear there for Reese. Oh, big power slide there for Memo in 7th place. We're going through the pothole. The two killers are side by side. Dave is going to be the winner of that little battle as they now keep to the left hand side and join on the full circuit. Saw a little lock up there further back. So Jaco Maritzi's joined, saying where's Killer D? Killer D is currently in 4th place. We're currently watching Ian, who's getting a lot of pressure. A little move there for the inside by Ricky B. Yes, Ricky B. Big power slide there for him. And that is how quickly you can lose it here on this track. Some guys running a little bit wide on the outside there. But so far, Raphael, who started out in front, he has got himself 1.2 seconds of a lead as he goes down the Concut main straight, which is actually part of the drag strip here at Ruapuna Park. Then into turn number 1, he goes a little bit too wide there as he approached that turn number 2. Spin there in the background there. That looked like we got the two killers now moving up. So Dave now up into 3rd place with Ian in 4th. Reese 5th and Ricky B in 6th place. Some side-by-side action between the two green cars. That's Mafira and Taran. Mafira deciding to rather not get the nose stuck in there. Going into turn number 4. They're now into the turn number 5. It is quite tricky because it does tighten on the exit. So we'll see some guys running just a little bit wide on the curb on the outside there. But now James in 2nd place. He's got that gap between himself and Raphael. 202nd, big power slide there for him. Getting that power on, did manage to catch it. But the battle that is really starting to get hot here is between 3rd, 4th and 5th. The 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. That is the two killers ahead, with Reese getting a great drive coming out of the last corner. So he's going to get himself up into 4th, and Ian's going to drop down into 5th. Just going to see where Ricky B is. He's going to position himself up on the inside. Will Camera Tim get that move? He just misses it, but Ricky B has been able to get himself up into 5th place. So a great attempt there and maneuver there for him. Just gonna jump to the leaders quickly because James still within a second to a silverback, and it is could just see how that car rotated, but I saw there was a move there on the inside, and Ricky B now up into 4th, so he definitely waited for an opportunity, put that car on the inside, and he's definitely made a great overtake there and got himself up into 4th place. You can see the 2 out in front, 127.5, as Ian gets a little bit sideways. Well, Ricky B has made a mistake, and that was just going through turn number 9. That little error has now dropped him back down into 6 as Dave, big power slide there for him coming out of the last corner. Ricky B going into the pits. Tyron getting that car rotated nicely into turn number 2. And he's got Ian in his sights. Ooh, a little wide there for him. There's a car on the outside that looked like James. So yes, that is James now. It was in 2nd place. He's now dropped down into 4th, with Reese now moving himself up the order. And Killer Dave, he's now up into 3rd place. So I must say the racing has been very close and very tidy here for the second race. The guys waiting for those opportunities instead of trying to force them, as Ian gets that very, very wrong. Back to the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th place. James getting that car into a nice little power slide. So some time penalty is starting to come up. You see Memo got himself a track limit penalty there. So the battle now for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place is really going to get interesting now, as Reese out in front. He now has Dave within a second of him, who has James within a second of him, and Tyron who's in a second of him. So this is now currently the battle for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. You can just see how tricky this car is to drive here. A lot of the cars getting on the power, how the rears just steps out ever so slightly. But Dave getting very, very sideways off the exit, and so is James. And that just shows how hard these guys are trying to push to get these cars going. Saw a little side-by-side action, a Memo on the inside of Jim, and he is going to be able to go around the outside. We saw that front wheel of Memo's locking up as he turned into turn number 9. Big slide there for James in that blue Ford. As that car just revs up, you can see how loose that rear gets. So we're on lap number 7 of 26. So guys, if you are on the stream, let us know who you're supporting, who have you come here to watch, and what do you think so far of this car and track combination? The racing has been very intense so far, and at least it's giving us some good, close, clean racing, and that's exactly what we want. So Mafira unfortunately disconnecting from the first race. So he did start near the back, but he has moved himself up the order, now in the 6th place, and he is now chasing down a silverback. Raphael, who was leading for a bit, led the guys off the start-finish line. You can see that little puff of smoke coming up as the guys go into the braking zone, turn number 2, and that's because you're loading that outside wheel. That inside wheel just under a lot of compression because you're loading it turning in through turn 1, and it definitely does make an interesting pit stop. I say interesting pit stop, interesting corner. Pit stop there for Jim, so I have noted it. So at least we are trying to keep track of who has made a pit stop or not. But Mafira getting ever so closer all the time, every sector. Because now he is within half a second. Just as I say that, it jumps up to 0.7. So Tyron currently in 3rd place. Ooh, I wonder whether he was going to run wide and realize, hold on, let me just go take my pit stop. And it is a very narrow pit stop. You can see that little chicane wall here. And definitely make a mistake there. So Tyron goes into the pits, and Mafira is still trying to close down Raphael. A comment coming through from Steve Perry SA saying Reese is getting better and better every race. That he is indeed. Someone off on the outside there. That was Raphael making a little mistake, so putting the pressure to try and get himself back up the order, and unfortunately going wide into turn number 2. And now Ricky B getting a lot of momentum through the pothole. Ricky looking for a way to try and get himself around Raphael. Ooh, big sideways moment there for Raphael, and Ricky was just able to get out of that. Oh, a little tag from behind. See, Ricky just braked a little bit earlier, just so that he didn't carry that mode. You could just see how damaged that car. There's car number 37. And this is a part of that, the challenge, but a great drive there by Ricky. They are going to be side by side into turn 1. So Raphael will have to concede the place. Whoa, big power slide there for Ian, going through the pothole. So here on lap number 10, we've got a Dave in a 2nd place, doing an absolutely sterling job here this evening. Reese, you can see there Reese goes by, just going into that last corner. 4.3 seconds is the gap there. So just bring up the maps just to give everybody just an idea of where all the drivers are currently on track. And we see Mr. Andrew Ambrogioni has joined us saying patience, patience, patience. Yes, indeed, Andrew. And
it's a virtue.
Yes, she is definitely a virtue, that's for sure.
I wish I should listen to myself sometimes.
Well, you know what they say, that hindsight is a perfect science. So I see that Raphael going into the pits now as Mafira starting to close up on the back of James, and he's just done his best lap, and as we jump to him, that rear just rotates, and I think he might have grabbed just one gear too low there, because now he's going to have to contend with the first heat winner, Ricky, and it just shows how difficult it's going to be in the Bravo tier, coming from 6th place to try and work your way up the order. Ricky's sliding that car, looking for an opportunity to get around Mafira, but we know how good he's been on the exit here in the last corner. That was a very late lunge, but just looking at that, there was quite a bit of space there. But Ricky able to get that power down, but Mafira deciding not going to let him just take that place. So it's a great job here by Mafira holding out Ricky B. And as he's holding out Ricky B, there's James in the front there, who they are starting to reel in now. Mafira very, very tight line through turn number 3. They'll look to the inside. Mafira might be a lock up there, but he's been able to get himself around. But Ricky B taking advantage of that and getting himself on the inside. Mafira just slowing down. I think he might have felt that he had done a little injustice there, and unfortunately is rubbing up on the inside of James. But now Mafira battling with Memo, who's now up into 4th place. And now that puts Memo up into 3rd. And that's just part of the problem with this car, is that you start getting that power on the rear, let's go. And it's just going to keep over-rotating, as Mafira, you can see him just grabbing the brakes there. Nearly getting it completely around. So we are now currently halfway through this race.
Hello. Good. Ish. Just need to get this right.
So we're currently watching Ian down in a 7th position. He was a little bit higher up in the early parts of the race. But there is going to be, I think, your mic is still on there, Duncan.
Sorry.
This is going to be battle number 2.0 between Ricky B and Mafira. And Mafira doing everything right here so far. But this is where we know where Ricky is strong, as Mafira decides now to go into the pits. Which now is going to let James in 6th place move up a position. Well, Ian was very, very wide there, which has now got Tyron right on his inside. So Tyron's going to have the advantage here into turn number 1. And Tyron putting out a 0.6 a quicker time than he has before. You could just see how unstable that car is on the brakes. So Johan VDV goes into the pits as we watch Tyron going a nice wide and a sideways line through turn number 4. Jump to James that he's just done his best delta, 0.8 of a second. It goes very wide there. For some reason just didn't get himself wide enough for the entry into turn number 9. So James getting their car slowed down, on point. Great apex there. See, we got one of the killers now going in, so that is in. We did see that we've have had one retirement, and that was St. Jim. Side by side, James has been able to get himself ahead of Tyron, but Tyron's still fighting back as hard as he can. You can see the car just squirming left and right as he got onto that power. And already on his 16th lap, Reese. Absolute masterclass here this evening.
Is that Terry's cousin or nephew?
His cousin. His cousin's son. So Reese started in 4th place and has worked his way up the order. And is currently in charge of this race, so doing very well. And Dave, we've seen that he has had the pace through some of the other races, but just hasn't been able to convert. Memo currently in a 3rd position. He's having an absolute blinder here this evening as well. And just managing to keep it off the dirt there. We can see in 4th place that is Ricky B, the Heat 1 winner. So he is also moving himself up the order here. As Memo goes very wide there into turn number 8, known as Jeff's Corner, if you didn't know that, Duncan.
What's that, sorry?
That turn number 8 is called Jeff's Corner.
Is it?
It is indeed.
Never knew. I'm currently playing on Paul Ricard.
So Memo really attacking that curb, because what's happened is he's now got himself within a second of Dave. He's just going to need to be patient as Dave unfortunately loses the rear, and he goes straight into Memo, and that now pushes Memo down the order, which has now got Ricky B up in the front, or into 2nd place I should say. Very unfortunate there by Dave, and nothing that Memo could have done to avoid that. It is just one of those things, I'm afraid. So looking at the lap times, Reese on lap number 18, he's doing 125.7s, and Ricky 122.4. As I said, that Ricky does a 122.0 Now 130 there for Memo, but Memo on the pace there, doing those low 122s. And Ricky closing up every single lap now. So he made up 2.3 seconds on that last time round. So he will be able to get a glimpse of where Reese is now on circuit. Because there is a back marker, or 2 or 3 back markers between Ricky and Reese. But now we see Reese going into the pits. We know that Ricky has pitted already. So Reese pits and Ricky will now take up that first place spot. And with Reese in the pits and the second of the killers, so Dave going in, a car off in turn number 2. So according to my notes here, that we just have Memo and James needing to go into the pits. And then that will be everyone having completed the pits, and the pit stop here is pretty quick, which is definitely welcome because it is such a short lap. So the invites have started coming through for the Alpha tier. And with 7 laps left to go, Ricky definitely has got this race under control. Did take the gamble, went and pitted very early. Did have Mafera to battle against, but he was able to just stay patient, work his way through the field, and now he's got himself up at the top. So Reese now out of the pits is chasing down Tyron. Tyron has pitted, so this is definitely for a position. Big lock up there for Reese. And Tyron running himself very wide into turn number 1. Sorry, turn number 2, apologies. Got to wait for that car to resettle, let it rotate. Just checking up on some of the comments that have come through. We see Eli Vigara, who's joined us, saying, this track and my foot definitely don't gel, especially in a rear wheel. Gosh. We've got Carissa saying, lekker doctor, mooi positie. Oh, mooi positie. The Afrikaans word got me there. And then we got Mr. Daniel War Machine Morales. He's here this evening saying, nice to see the Fords on the track. Let's go, Johan VDV. And then we got Sawyer Bar Vom.red. No idea what that is. Oh, very wide there. Reese sneaks up on the inside. And Atara now dropping it down to 4th place. Tyron on the outside, not a good place to be there. And what I'm just seeing on the map is that Memo does need to pit, and he goes very wide into turn number 8 with 5 laps left. He's got 26 seconds. I wonder if that will be enough time for him to go and get a pit stop done and still come out ahead of both Reese and Tyron. Because a 24.0 there for Memo. He's still going 2 seconds quicker a lap than Reese and Tyron. I do have James starting to put pressure on Mafira. But as I said, that looked like he got a bad exit. And that a second warning just went away. But Tyron not giving up on Reese just yet. Just jump back to James and Mafira. Great little battle here between these two. James going very sideways. Just taking too much of a narrow entry there. Got to stay nice and tight through turn number 8 and then get as far to the right as possible to set yourself up for the right that left-hander. This is currently the battle for 3rd and 4th place. In shot is Tyron. Well, sounds like he missed a gear there. But James and Mafira having an absolute crack of a battle. Mafira's going to be on the inside. James is going to try and go around the outside. Was there a little touch? If there was, James was able to hang on to it. So James now up into a 6th place. Mafira in 7th. Oh, big lock up there for James. You could definitely see that he's battling there. And how's that? Well, I'll say all 4 cars, but it was only the first 3 that came through there. And as they got onto that curb, you just see how that rear just kicked out. And James sliding that car out the exit. But Tyron not giving up between himself and Reese. These two doing very similar times, but it is Killer Dave in 5th place, who's actually doing the faster time of the 2 ahead of him. So he could very well get himself in contention here. And as this race starts getting near the end, the drivers start getting even closer. Will there be a look to the inside by Ian? No. But there's a late lunge there. And Atoki was able to make that stick. And he's now got up 2 places. Gone past Ian as well as Mafira. Late lunge there. And Mafira losing out there. Unfortunately, 2 places. Absolutely great battles happening all over. Tyron still fighting with Reese, and as we jump onto Tyron, he goes very, very sideways.
What are you doing? On my French.
We are Code Coconuts.
I kind of said back, not yellow.
Got you.
Just. The Irish version.
So 24th lap is on, and James is going to go wide. There's going to be an impact there. So James unfortunately losing out there, bouncing into Johan. And Johan managing to somehow keep that car under control on the dirt, and has managed to stay on the track. Absolutely incredible. We currently are watching the race leader on his second last lap. Ferrer just getting out of the way, allowing the race leader to go through. Big power slide there for the cameras. Thank you very much for that. But we've got Johan chasing down Ian. This is the battle for 6th and 7th place. And I just hope that Memo has made his pits, because I did not see him pits. Well, if he did, I didn't pick it up. Johan having another late lunge on the inside and able to sneak his way through. So a great overtake there for Johan. Ian saw him coming and had to unfortunately let him through, and nearly a mistake there for Johan. Without jumping to our race leader, Ricky B, having started in a 6th place, has worked his way up the order. So Ricky B will come through the last corner for the last time, and he will take the win here this evening. So a back-to-back heat wins for Ricky B. Memo will across the line in a 2nd place. Reese currently in a 3rd. So I must have missed the fact that Memo had across there done his pit stop. But a great result there for Reese. And very, very closely followed by Dave. Big power slide there for Reese coming out of the last corner. So Reese will finish off in a 3rd place. Dave in 4th. Tyron will come home in a respectable 5th there. Johan, some great late lunges there for him going into turn number 4, and managed to make those moves stick. Ian will finish off in a 7th place with Mafira in 8th, Raf in 9. Very unlucky there for him. It is Rafiki losing it coming through the last corner. Right guys, absolutely a fantastic race. I just want to see if Reese is going to join us. Let's just start with you there, Memo. A great result there for you. At one point you were matching Ricky B for his lap times. I did get it a little bit wrong, thinking I actually missed that you had done your pit stop. But a 2nd place, where you must be really happy with that result.
Can you hear me, Dylan?
Yes, I can.
Cool. Super happy. I want to thank my family, I want to thank my wife. I want to thank my kids. I want to thank Jakes and Marius for pushing us all. I want to thank you for getting me into the community. And that's about it, man. I want to thank everybody. I'm so happy.
No, awesome. Absolutely fantastic drive there for you, Memo. And I'm sure your wife is very, very proud of you.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. I might get a divorce in 1 hour. Who knows?
Well, as long as you...
No, but really, the slick tires really, the soft tires really helped the situation. I don't think it was up to anything else. I think that was a strategic move that got that second place. And I probably could have been first if I didn't get bumped by somebody there, but that's okay, you know, that stuff happens.
No, 100%. Reese, podium there for you. Difficult race for you. Started off fourth. We're leading for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you got the likes of Memo and Ricky B coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I was contemplating putting on the softs, but I decided to stick it out on the hards, and then I saw Memo come past, and I knew then he was on softs, and yeah, but I'm happy with third.
Well, it was an absolutely fantastic race there for you. Ricky, back-to-back wins there for you. A lot trickier this time around. Trying to get yourself through the field, that definitely wasn't easy for you, was it?
Yeah, that was the main problem with this race. He's just trying to get some space. Eventually, I decided to pit early, and then got some space and paid off at the end.
Well, we definitely got a lot of that action on the stream, so you can definitely go and check that out. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Memo will be taking the commentary from here on in. Guys, we will see you on the outside. After this race, the Alpha tier will be up shortly. We'll see you soon, guys. Cheers.
Well.
Tyler, just make Memo the director, please. And Chase broadcaster. Alright, Memo, enjoy. We'll be switching over to the race chat.
Can you guys hear me? Testing. Not working or not working, I don't know. Can the stream hear me here? Can we have like a thumbs up if the stream can hear?
I can hear you, fella.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm concentrating on staying on the track.
Okay.
Evening, gentlemen.
I'm going to be talking, so I hope that doesn't put you off.
Paul Ricard on Thursday, you're going to love.
I do like Paul Ricard, yeah, that's right.
Not
So
like
is the
this.
stream live? I'm guessing the stream is live.
It absolutely is, Memo. I could hear you on stream as well.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is Alpha Tier. For all of us. Okay, whatever you like. As you wish.
Well, that was an interesting one, Memo.
It was. I was very happy with that one. Soft tires, no skill involved in that. Just put the soft tires on and get going.
I actually went through that entire race on the hards. I had a very short pit. I had an early pit. From that point on, it was just head down and get going.
Yeah, I'm glad with that. Anyway, the race is off now. This is Alpha Tier, so we've got Brandon in the front, Tyler second, Rockstar Mel apparently in third. I thought he was working today, but he managed to make it. Quicksilver's fourth, Jakes is fifth, Rudy is sixth, Marius is seventh, and Peter Brand I think is in eighth, Dylan in ninth, and Stoltz in 10th position. So let's remind the viewers that this is a standing start, a random start. Okay, so whatever happens in this race, this is basically like a sprint qualifying race sort of thing. For 15 minutes they race around this shorter track version, and then the first six are a reverse grid, and then the rest are in the positions that they start off, they ended off, and that's how they start the next race. Input from you?
Not much of an input. We had a little bit of a contact at the back sector there, but it seemed to have worked itself out.
Yeah, that happens, it's no problem. I was swearing at you at that moment, but then after like a few seconds I was happy afterwards, so no hard feelings.
Hey man, listen, you sent me to the Shadow Realm and I managed to come back, so...
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I mean that stuff happens.
That's an race, is it not?
Yeah, apparently it is.
But he is there. I must be
and,
honest, he's pretty good.
Welcome, Toki.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure hearing your voice.
Hi. Are we live?
We are.
We are live, yeah, so no swearing apparently.
Cutting beef.
It's PG Dylan.
It's the coconuts.
Exactly.
Listen, I see that...
who went off there?
Yo, man, what a car to drive.
Yeah, it was fun actually, with softs. That was Marius flying off, I think. Looks like it is all the way at the back now.
It is live, it's on Dylan's... on the broadcast.
You can actually push the watch stream over there and you'll be able to see it directly as it's being broadcast. So,
Okay, got it.
I don't know the corners of this track. This is corner number hairpin. Let's just call it that way. And then there's an immediate right turn there. So at the moment, Tyler is in the front, Brandon is second, and Durkee is in third position. And I'll tell you what, it's not nice having Durkee behind you, or Marius, or Jakes. And I think that looks Jakes going off on the side there.
Listen, coming out of that second last turn, before the last, as it's the second last turn, if you don't take that with a little bit of caution, you are going extremely wide.
Yes, already.
Now, this whole track needs caution while you're on hards. As soon as you put the softs on, it's so much nicer to drive.
I believe you with that. I don't know why I didn't make that decision earlier, but
I think in this series, once you get to the second race, you have to go and put the softs on for. I mean, every time I've done that, I've done pretty well. But this was definitely my best race ever in the history of racing. I think, So I was very happy with that. But so we've got Tyler pulling a gap there, 1.5 seconds. Quicksilver still fighting over there, or Dirkie still fighting with Brandon.
Ooh, that's
They're all losing it, yeah. That's really difficult with those hard tires. So anyone that actually managed the entire race on hard tires, well done to you. That's crazy. That is totally crazy.
Well, to be fair, that's also my highest position that I've come in a race so far. So, well, in a final race, let's put it that way.
Well, that's well done then. That's quite an accomplishment if you did that on hards.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if there's a strategy to actually change to softs for the first race, but I think that would be way too much.
I believe with the amount of time we have, a pit stop is just detrimental to your time.
Yeah, that is exactly. But it's 30 seconds. If you can make it up in 15 laps or 14 laps, it might actually be an... You know, if you can go 5 seconds faster than everybody, there you've done it. In 1 minute. Yeah, so technically it's possible, but I don't know who's going to be brave enough to do that. So who would you guys like to look at? I'd like to actually look at Marius, because Marius has a tendency to spin out and then come first.
I mean, listen, the way these guys pull things out of their hats, I'm still gobsmacked by some of the things these guys perform at.
Well, I think it's just natural talent. I don't know.
I mean, really, these guys are reason, right?
Yeah, but they've always been like this. As long as I can remember, they drive these cars in a different way that, you know, these are like called alien people, seriously.
On to Planet SARCO, here's our best. Who's that coming with there?
Oh, I don't know who that was, but it looked like it was Peter Brand having a spin there and going from 4th all the way down to, or anyway, 8th or 6th all the way down to last place. So we see Jake's putting on the pressure on Brandon over here. Dirkie seems to have got past Brandon. As I said before, it's not nice having him behind you, or Jake's, or Marius. And it looks like Dirkie's actually pulling on some crazy laps here, like he's down to 56. I practiced with him and he actually managed to get down to 55, seconds per lap. So he has the skills, he has the ability, and yeah, that's just scary having him behind you.
It was very unfortunate for Rockstar though. He was actually up quite high up on the grid earlier.
Oh, bother. I didn't see Rockstar spin out actually. Sorry for missing you there, Mel. And he seems to have... Does that look like damage on the car? It looks like it's a bit damaged there, so it looks like he went into a wall or something.
Turn 1, those boots get really compressed, almost turning these cars into Ford Focus STs, and well, for anybody who goes into the back of it, loses half their nose, so...
Very strange stuff, yeah, like 30% damage straight away.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure those cars are made of cardboard.
It's an insult to cardboard.
Yeah, no, I don't know, cardboard would probably be stronger actually, who knows. Well, let's take it down a notch, maybe it's paper cars,
That sounds about right.
So Jake's putting on the pressure on Brandon.
Oh, a quick look on the inside there. Wasn't quite able to get there though.
Yeah, but he takes a much tighter turn to take some speed out of this S sort of snake thing going on here. So you have an eagle. You have Brandon trying his best, but you have an eagle chasing the cash show over there.
As long as Brandon can handle the pressure, he should be fine. But he's coming out of those corners a little bit too heavy. To be fair, the rears of these cars are so loose, any slight touch, you're gone there.
Yeah, that's why you have to play with the brake balance as well, apparently.
Yeah.
So if you push your brake balance, up to like 58, 59, and then you have to play with it during the race as well, else the car totally becomes unstable. And most of these guys actually do that while they're driving. Actually, some of them actually change the brake balance each lap depending on the turn that they're coming up to.
If they've got enough buttons, they can do it.
Yeah, should be okay.
Anything is possible with enough buttons. Toki will tell you about that.
Yeah, he's the button master apparently. He's made some nice things for...
I'm going to let you know about a little secret here with this specific model of car. And I don't know which other cars allow it or classes allow it, but I do know that this V8 class, once you're on track, because we've got a locked setup and you only have the option of the stable or the loose, once you go out to track, your anti-roll bars can be adjusted on track.
That's true. Forwards and backwards and the brake balance. That's all you can adjust in this car.
Yeah, but other classes don't allow you to do the anti-roll bars.
Ooh, Quicksilver.
But you got to know which way to go with it. Sort of.
That means practice. That means practice a lot of hours.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. It's repetition.
Using that real
as we've seen so many times.
So is there any other battles here? Rudy's catching up to Jake, so this is a nice three-way battle. Let's keep our eyes on this one.
You know you had the fastest lap there, Mimo.
Yeah, but it's because of the soft tires, you know.
Yeah, did you also pit off?
I pitted on the first lap.
Oh wow, had I known that I would have done that earlier as well, but I only thought about it, or of it, much later.
That means you have not been watching the streams, Toki, because we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, or last week as well.
I've been supporting like my guys in Bravotier, and that's about it. I don't even watch the what's his name,
the Alpha Tier. Yeah, well, we did talk about it in Alpha Tier commentary, so that was actually something that you need to do for the second race. It's just pit early, and then so we have a four-way battle going over here. Marius has caught up to them. Jakes has passed Brandon apparently, so Brandon has all this pressure, you know, having Rudy and Jakes, and Rudy loses it there. Sorry about that, Rudy. That means probably Marius is going to go right past him.
What are we always calling it? The commentator's curse?
That's a commentator's curse, yeah.
Yeah, get it off my man. That's my boy. That's my sim stuff boy.
Oh, well.
That is my sim stuff boy. Hard. I just cemented it again today by arranging a steering wheel for him. Boys, his next season will be with a wheel.
Well, there goes Marius, unfortunately.
Great move. Marius went off the track, and so Rudy is back up to 5th place. Jakes is trying to catch up to Durkee. Durkee has laid off a bit here, or he made a mistake somewhere along the line, because he was pretty close to Tyler, if I'm not mistaken. He's bringing those times down. That's 3 seconds with how much time remaining? About 3.5 minutes remaining of this race. So that's good on for around, I don't know, 3 laps to go? 4 laps, probably. And I think we lost some people here. Did we lose some drivers here? Where is Rockstar Mel? Rockstar Mel out. Stoltz is also out. Oh, Stoltz retired. So he got fed up with that. Rockstar Mel retired. Or they were kicked from the service for some reason. Who knows what happened there. So we're down to 8 guys racing. We've given Durkee a lot of time over here. So let's go see some more battles. I see Rudy over here. That's your dude putting the pressure on Brandon.
It's astonishing how he performs with a controller. Unreal.
Is he playing on controller?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you can see the jerky stuff on there.
You'll see as he turns in, it'll be incremental.
Oh my.
So that he'll straighten out as he goes through the turn. Just tapping it. I mean, he's phenomenal with the controller.
So what? I thought he was on
manual shift.
That's crazy. And he was on a wheel in the past, wasn't he?
He was back in the day on the PlayStation 4 3 days. When the G27 was still relevant. He was on wheel. But you know, he must quite easily be. Oh no! Wow! He holds it like a boss. He's probably the coolest, most collected guy. I just want to ask if we could move off him, please. I don't want the curse to sort of compile.
Okay, I'll go to Marius. Is that okay for you?
I'm happy with that. That's enough.
That way you can see the battle in the front as well.
Listen, bottom line, I take my hat off to him. I can barely do this sitting in a rig with a very nice steering wheel. being able to do this in control.
It's crazy. It's crazy how he does it, but he's calm and he's collected. But you'll see that in all the sort of gaming. He does a lot of first-person shooter stuff as well, and there as well. Rocket League, and that Rocket League is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So he's just got that skill, you know.
I thought you were going to tell me he was doing those first-person shooters with a steering wheel.
No, that would be lopsided. I mean, that does not be right. I'm trying to be all fancy with words here.
No, man, this is a community.
Lacking. I'm more comfortable with words like fathermucker and stuff like that.
All right, we'll just ignore that one. Thank you.
Coconuts. No, it was deemed coconut safe by Dylan before our race.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I'm happy. Guys, is it as hot by you people as what it is here by me and George?
It's cooking. I won't say it right.
It is.
We have winter here, so I can't help you out with that one.
Right, you're in Greece.
I was talking to the guys, Memo, not the girls.
Why were you looking in the mirror then as well?
I have a mirror on my right here that shows me my good side. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So you weren't looking at that while you were talking.
No, I was just glancing at it.
Okay. No worries.
Now, ladies.
So let's keep it clean, please, Talkie. Let's not do any of that stuff.
The racing.
Can we meet our race leader and just see what's happening with him there?
Well, he's comfortably in the lead actually, and he's got mine livery actually.
Mr. Scott in the house. Tyler, that's good. I think it was last week I saw a bit of his first session, and he was also like well competitive in the front there, and then something came up. I don't know what happened.
So there you go. That's the race complete. Tyler first, Durkee second, cameraman Jordan or whatever you want to call him is not very good.
Cameraman Jeff.
Yeah, whatever.
Or Jim or whatever that was called.
There you go. This cameraman showing us, I don't know, his nappy or something. Who knows what that was. Okay, so what's going to happen is now the first 6 drivers are going to be reverse grid. So that means Dylan is going to be first. Rudy is going to be second. Brandon third. Jake's fourth. Durkee fifth. Tyler sixth. And then we're going to have Marius in seventh. Peter Brand in 8th, Rockstar Mel in 9th, and Stoltz in 10th. And just by looking at their lap times, they did some 56s there, no 55s apparently from the guys. Dylan's very disappointed with his commentating. I can see the disappointment on his face over there. He's like, what are these guys talking about?
I was actually going to comment that throughout the race. We are privileged to have the webcam on him. And the seriousness of that face while we're busy driving is...
Oh, no, that's C for serious. That all business. The gloves say it all. I mean, and they're all swanky looking. Show us those gloves, Dylan.
And we've also got Duncan practicing ACC in the background over there. Thank you, Duncan, for being on the live stream.
Oh, no.
How many drivers are in the Alpha tier tonight?
It was about 10, I think. Well done, Dylan. You did very well there.
Let us see those gloves, Dylan. Show the people the gloves. Those are lacquer looking gloves, eh?
We have some internal commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't hear anything else. So. Yeah, something like that. So anyway, the director is ready. If all you guys are ready, let's get going. Let's get racing. So to all the people watching the stream, I don't know how many of you are watching the stream right now. We're just waiting for all the thumbs up. All the thumbs to go up. Correct. So we're just waiting for Tyler, Rockstar Mel, and Marius to thumbs up. And we can get crack-a-lacking, as Dylan says, most of the time. Still don't know what that means, but anyway. Sorry for the cough, everyone. I have a bit of a cough.
It's okay. It's a beauty of Discord. The noise cancelling is a beautiful thing. We can't actually hear it.
Are you serious?
100% we couldn't hear a word. Well, we couldn't hear a sound, rather, should I say.
The cough, that's great news.
Well, no, Discord's got some things right. That's exactly why PlayStation wants them on board.
That's perfect for me. I'm happy with it. It's a free application as well, so I'm even more happy.
Exactly. Alright, here we go. Through to the GP version of this. Slightly longer. A little more painful.
Not when you're on softs. So keep that in mind for next time.
I'll correct this. A little more painful for us hard boys.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so for all the people just watching, just a recap of what's about to happen. There is going to be a start. There's going to be a formation lap where the guys are just going to get into their positions as per the previous race. Don't ask me what the positions should be. I think it was Dylan, Rudy, Jake's. No, it wasn't Jake's. Anyway, they'll get into their positions correctly. And then from then on, as they pass the line after the first lap, once everybody's in position, they'll be racing. So it'll be like a formation lap, basically, where they'll all take the positions, get past once around the lap, and then they'll be racing like crazy. There is a mandatory pit stop, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes into the pits to change to the soft tires. I'm pretty sure that all of them are going to change to soft tires after watching the previous race in the Bravo race anyway, because it gives you a massive advantage lap time wise. So I'm sure these guys, we're going to see some under 120s. And yeah, we're just waiting for everything to sync and get ready, and let's get going. I think it's about to happen. Could actually go back.
We'll have Dylan in the front now, so let's see if he can handle that.
So let's go down to Dylan. Dylan has to go all the way to the front. There he is, just working his way up.
It will be Dylan, Rudy, Brandon Dos Santos, Jakes, Quicksilver, Scott, Marius, PB, Rockstar, and Stoltz.
That sounds about right, actually. Brandon, I couldn't remember Brandon for some reason. So Rudy in place, Brandon in place. There he is. Jakes in place. Tyler looks out of place. He should be 6th, and I think Tyler's just waiting for Durkee to catch up. Durkee's right at the back there for some reason.
Durkee would be pit correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. And Marius has a tendency to not let people through ever, even when they have to take up the formation laps. I think he forgets about that. So as you can see now, it's like not making way for Durkee. Come on, Marius, move out of the way. It's the right thing to do. So Dirk is having to race Marius to get his position back.
Unfortunately, it happens more than it should, but there's unfortunately not much of a way to control that.
Nah, but you know, these guys they're seasoned. So Durkee has taken his place. Tyler is in 6th, Marius, Peter Brandt, Rockstar Mel, and Stoltz. Everybody is in position. We're going to take this one large hairpin corner and we'll be racing soon.
Keep an eye on Mr. Rudy. It'll be interesting to see what he does here.
You just jinxed him. I didn't say anything about him.
I don't jinx nobody. I'm telling you, he is rock solid and so calm and collected.
Now, Toki, you just asked us not to watch him, so you need to tell us what you want.
No, I'm just talking about a general glance every 5 to 10 seconds.
I'll go right behind him, okay? So they are racing.
What they call BMT. Big match temperament.
So Dylan is in the front. He's holding off anyway, Rudy for the moment.
The Santos.
Dylan gets sideways.
Be hot on that rear bumper.
Stolz has just moved up from 9th to 9th position or so.
These guys need to remember that they don't go right anymore, they need to go left.
I must be honest, luckily I disconnected for that first one. And,
So you would have done that.
didn't have to deal with those squiggly bits in the middle there. Look at him counter steering.
Okay, I'll go off him so I don't jinx him and then don't start shouting at me.
No, I won't.
Jake's putting the pressure on Brandon.
Look at that. There's just never not pressure when Jake's isn't behind you. Always behind you. It's just constant pressure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy how he just comes flying in on you. He never makes contact, but he's just so composed and like, it's crazy, focused.
Saw Marius come up to the a little bit.
Him and Marius both, it's crazy. You know that they've actually, I mean, he was saying the other night that he's actually reset the gears on his throttle pedal so that the throttle never disengages 100%. Because you find that the engine braking engages if you're really sort of going down in the lower gears, and it sort of locks up the rears, makes the car over rotate. That's the extent that they've gone to fine tune their rigs.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually very crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, they've literally just moved it on 1 or 2 teeth on the gearing where your potentiometer sits, so that even when your foot's off the throttle, it's never showing zero input.
That's very strange. I don't know how that would help. Would you say that both of them did that?
You know, going into the hairpin and mid track here, that you go around turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you come down and there's a hairpin. That hairpin, if you're in first gear and you're carrying too much speed as you turn in, the car over rotates.
Okay.
Now that's because your foot's off the throttle all the way and the engine braking engages. So you get that compression braking that starts happening. And because you can't or sort of tune it out by doing your setup, running throttle, you know, that little bit of throttle input at the bottom, that sort of it lessens or minimizes the engine braking because there's fuel going through, so the engine's turning. It's not sort of building up compression. So the car is not braking against the engine's compression.
Okay, so there are first pit stops. Brandon and Marius in.
Those are softs.
There were 3 guys who put it before that, so we only...
I didn't see that actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we must actually keep an eye on that to see if they change tires.
Okay, so it looks like Peter Brandt pitted, Durkee, Marius, Brandon, Stolz, and Rockstar Mel probably. I don't know. So that means we've got 4 guys out that have not pitted. I'm surprised Dylan has not pitted. I think he's going to try... Well, in 122s, that's not going to cut it, actually.
I think it's our 4 front runners that just have...
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on whether he comes in for a splash and dash. And how long he can keep up the 122s, because I don't think... What sort of lap times are we expecting from the top 5?
118s. If I was in a 120, it means they can do 118s on this track. Guaranteed.
Well, look, I want to be honest with you, and this is not me being cocky or anything, because I know I'm not the fastest guy out there, but I literally, when I put the post on the Discord this evening, if I was saying that I see there's quite a few gaps, can I join? I hadn't done a lap by then, and that was already 7:10.
Yeah.
This evening. So I think, yeah, it's very possible that they'll do 1 minute 18s, because had I had a little bit more time, I would have definitely gotten. I said to Tyrone during the race that when I did my first 121 flat, and I consistently was doing 121, 121.5s. I said to him,
on hards or softs?
On the softs, when I went to the softs. I said to him that there was at least another 500 in the lap that I could sort of, if I look at my split times, You know, I have the little gauge in front of me that sort of constantly sort of compares my times to my fastest lap. But I mean, I think if I put in a week's practice, I would also get sub 20s.
So you see, that's a 118.7 from Doki. I told you that they'd be around there. And I'm sure he can go faster than that as well without traffic in front of him. So
and let me just say to the people
that's what we're looking at.
Watching, that is phenomenal. It's crazy. You know, it's difficult to explain to people how weird it feels when you're sitting stationary, looking at a stationary screen. Always how to sort of relay what you're seeing and where your turning points would be, and it's hard. It's not. I think in some instances it would be easier to drive an actual car than what it would be doing a simulation.
Probably,
you get the feel for it. You know, you got the. I mean, you're automatically sort of tuned into the furthest visible sort of point in a turn when you're approaching a turn. It comes naturally. Yeah, it's different. I mean, I don't know about you, Memo. I find it extremely hard to sort of get my visual reference into the turn. I keep on staring at the track in front of me, which is annoying as hell.
No, you need to use your peripheral vision as well, just to sort of try and guess where that braking is. There's lots of videos on YouTube about that. So
that's the beauty of
how to drive,
VR headset, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible in this over here on the PlayStation.
No, it's not. Only software that allows you, or simulation that allows you to actually race with VR is Dirt Rally 2.0's Rallycross.
You've got Gran Turismo Sport as well, but it's more.
Beg your pardon?
You've got Gran Turismo Sport as well that does allow.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to race with it.
Correct.
See, that's the thing. So the only place you can compete with the VR on is on, that I've seen, is on the Dirt Rally.
Correct. I just saw
Rallycross, which is
scratch there. We just saw Jakes go past Quicksilver. Jakes did just come out of his pits.
Okay, so Jakes. Okay, so expect those times to come down like crazy now as well for Jakes. And Marius is a flat 118 almost, so that means he can go into the 117s. We will see a 117 today, definitely.
I see we
This
also
is going
have penalties.
Yeah, I suppose we could have a look at that just to see what's happening with the penalties. It does show it somewhere, I think. So we've got Dylan with a 1 second penalty, Rudy with a 1 second, and Stoltz with a 1 second penalty. Otherwise, the rest of the guys are clean.
There he goes Dylan back into his first pit. Hopefully the only pit.
I'm pretty sure you should have done that a lot sooner, actually. So you've got Tyler without a pit already in the 121s, which is pretty good actually on hards. It's actually very good on hards.
And I actually said to him just before the race he must put on softs, and he wasn't sure. And he was in a chat with me, and he left the chat after the first race.
So we have Jakes and Marius all the way down the straight together. I don't know what all these messages are coming from Duncan. And I think he says you can't use the VR kit on ACC apparently. I don't know if he's talking to somebody else about something else.
No, the VR kits, I mean, you can't race, you can't compete with in an online environment with it. I don't know if it works at all. I know that on Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally, the first one, you had to have the VR expansion purchased, which was cheap. It was 199 Rand or 169 Rand or something.
Okay.
And that then enabled you to do everything inside there, because Rally's basically a time trial event. And on 2.0 then the Rallycross came into play. Well, it was on the first one as well, but there you're allowed to there you can race with a VR on. So that's the only release that I know of. I must be honest, with the open wheelers on the Mercedes-Benz, when they launched that first F1 car on GTS, on Gran Turismo Sport, I got into it with a VR, and it is crazy.
Absolutely.
I don't know if my brain could take that. I think it would be
Memo,
too
the
confusing.
audio, like input that is just the wind noise, and the faster you go, the more wind noise there is, and it's just, it almost gets. I was on Nürburgring Nordschleife with that Mercedes, and it became almost. I stopped at one point and I took a breath. It was totally overwhelming.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that, so that's cool for me. Let's see where Marius is. It's like 3 seconds behind Durkee, but he is catching up. Dylan has made his way up to 5th.
Rudy's out. Is Rudy still in?
Rudy's actually in 1st place.
Oh, I wasn't looking up there. Sorry, Rudy.
Yeah, but you have to remember that Rudy and Tyler still have not pitted. They are on hards, and there's 17 laps to go. So I think that's going to change towards the end. I'd have to guess that Durkee's actually in 1st place with Marius. Cutting those times down, catching them basically. So that's another 118.078 from Marius. He is just killing it right now.
I think you guys were onto something with the move to the softs. Get in early, put those softs on, and
look, I put my softs on 14 laps in, and I had tire wear of about 67% left, so I used about 33 odd percent. So I think to be safe, 10 laps in would have been the time sort of to do it, to give yourself enough.
Well, I had 10% of tires left. I used like 90% of my tires.
Yeah, but you went in on lap what?
Yeah, no, the tires were fine though. You could still race with them quite easily.
Yeah. But I mean, I was sitting like hemming and eyeing from the get-go when to go in, when was I wasn't sure. And also I got out of the way of like what's his name? What's Tyler's friend?
Sorry, I don't know who Tyler's friend is.
Ray, isn't it Ray, or what's his name?
Rafiki.
No, not Rafiki, the other guy.
You had Mafera at some point.
Raylene. Mafera.
He was behind the
Mafera I started off with in the beginning, and then I kind of managed to get away from him.
I just want to inform you guys that that's a 117.7 from Marius. So you can see what the difference is.
He's a monster, eh?
He's killing it with that car. I feel sorry for Durkee.
This is his kind of car. You know, he's always been a flat-out kind of driver.
You know how anybody can go flat out with this thing. The moment you put your foot down, this thing wants to turn.
So yeah, that's just crazy. I'm surprised Tyler and Durkee haven't pitted yet. It is a mandatory pit, and those are the only two drivers that have not pitted. Everybody else has pitted apparently.
Yes, the beauty with a mandatory pit stop is if you haven't, that hefty time penalty at the end will really catch you.
It was like a minute and a half, I think. So it's not worth it, especially with these tires. I mean, if you're on the hard, just change them to softs and then go for it.
Yeah.
So Tyler came into the pits. You can see him dropping down the order.
Yeah, I think this is where the sort of practice and the not to say that. And he didn't. He's out already, so he splashed and dashed.
It seems that way, so that means he didn't change tires. So
well, look, I mean, he couldn't have changed tires. It would have been, the time would have been too much. So defending his position in 4th.
It's going to be very difficult with Dylan behind him, though.
Same with Rudy. Rudy won't be able. What is the time deficit there? I can't see. 11 seconds.
It's about 11 seconds, yeah.
So Rudy will also have to splash and dash. There's no chance for tires.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And then defend the position.
I'm surprised to see Jake all the way at the back there. I don't know if he made a mistake with his pit stop or something happened with his pit stops. And they didn't put the softs on, and they put like maybe some wet tires or something. And this is a car actually that Rockstar Mel loves, to drive on Bathurst. So I don't know why he's not
Listen, it's an
Feeling a
all-time
lot better.
favorite of SARCO in general. I mean, my first race I raced with SARCO was in one of these, the first night I joined them. It was horribly painful.
It is. So Dylan is up to 4th place, is in the 119.3. But the two guys in front of him, basically first and second after Rudy pits, are in the 118. So Dylan's going to have to pick up the pace there to sort of catch these guys. As you can see, Tyler is struggling over there with those hard tires, which means Brandon is 3 seconds behind, and I'm pretty sure that Brandon's going to pass Tyler as well, with another 14 laps to go.
Has Rudy pitted now?
No, not yet.
And he made a mistake. He lost 7 seconds somewhere.
I think it's just the other guys. That's 2 laps they've been going 4 seconds faster than him.
I was watching the time. It was a rapid drop. It was...
Okay.
No, there was a bit of an
So he comes into the pits now. There you go. Slow down there, Rudy, because you don't want to get
Did you see that turn in there, Tyron? That sort of that's how you can see the controller. It's that sort of rapid, like linear movement. Stick to Rudy. I want to see if they're doing tires.
They are doing tires, so he should have done that a long time before.
Well, how many laps?
Like
No, there's enough laps left. No, what's going on now? They're fixing damage. Oh, he has damage because that's the time deficit then.
That's the damage, yeah. There you go. Okay, so Rudy is down too. Let's see where Peter Brandt is. Peter Brandt will pass Rudy. Basically, they're all going to pass Rudy apparently now. Sorry about that. It looks like Rudy managed to get out in front of everybody. That's very well done to Rudy. He timed that perfectly.
Yeah, considering time and damage, that's not bad.
Okay, so let's get back to this battle for the leader. That's Durkee and Marius fighting it out in the front, and they're down to 119.7s. Dylan has also reached the 119.7s. And I think it's time for Tyler to get passed by Brandon on softs, apparently. So a lot of guys messed up their strategic ideas today without putting softs on. Remember that for next week's race as well. That goes for the crew. You know, that takes my advantage away, but anyway, I'd rather have some close racing than come second or third or fourth or something.
You know,
I'm watching Marius's live stream, yeah.
I've had the experience of the tire swap, and the reason I generally don't is because the way a car can feel between those two tires, it feels like two completely different vehicles.
So I'm going to cut you off there. I don't know if you saw that pass. That was a pass on the outside of that crazy long straight and turn. That was just, that was great by Brandon. Well, very good driving there, Brandon. I want to congratulate you personally. So you were saying that you don't change the tires because of the feel of the car changes?
You know what, it's purely because of the fact that I'm still novice level 100%. This is my first season ever with SARCO or in any online league, let's put it that way.
Okay, and you're driving on a wheel, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, it's going to be, the learning curve will be very short for you, I think.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I've got my rig set up now, so I'll be able to help him out.
Well, hopefully we'll see you more on the tracks, Tops.
Yeah, look, I mean, I need to be on I want to get more sort of track time on the PC side of things. And if you want to be effective, you know, if I want to be effective,
Sorry for interrupting you.
No. I just looked up and I saw that happening. But just look at Marius going into the turns. The car's always a little bit sideways, and he's just on it.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be done. Apparently, you know, you want a 5 to 10% slide of the car, just on the limit.
Well, also, I think to get tire temps, because on the first race I couldn't get my tire temperatures up to into the green. I couldn't get them into the 60 degrees mark.
Yeah.
So I managed to do that with the softs coming out. I didn't keep too much of an eye on it. I just watched it on my telemetry app to see, and they stayed green. But that's above 70 degrees. But you're coming out of the pits with 86, 90 degree tires if you do change them. So it's easier to maintain.
Well, the softs were easy to keep warm.
Yeah, and generally they yeah, and then also the fact that they're easier to keep or to maintain the temperature.
I just want to point out here that Rudy is doing 119.8, which means that he did change to the softs, and that's incredible with the controller. That's just crazy driving. I mean, to do that with a controller is just, it's beyond me.
Well, look what he did last season in the Bravo tier. I mean,
so,
cameraman Jeff. But
yeah, I mean, Dylan's having a hard time here. He's making some unforced errors. I think he's just pushing a bit too hard, trying to, make up that deficit of 17 seconds, which I don't think is going to happen.
It's also not easy when you're sort of stuck in no man's land like that. It's easy to lose. Just focus for a moment where you're trying to figure out what the deficit is in front of you as well as behind you. I find it extremely hard to drive like that when there's nothing going on around you.
And Rudy pulls with a 118.8 with the controller, please. That's just nuts. That's nuts, Rudy.
Yeah, he's a machine, this boy. And you know what? He's such a mild-tempered human being. Oh, the commentator.
You were talking. I was not talking at all now. That was your fault, Doggy.
I'm sorry, Rudy. Memo's blaming me, but that's all him. Oh, snap!
Doki and Marius not having a nice time, so...
Aren't they teammates?
No, they're not. I think it's Jake's and Marius which are teammates. So okay. They're giving us a flash over there.
Well, it looks like Rudy was able to hold on to his position at least. So
I think Jake's gave up. Actually, Jake's retired. He's not having a comfortable race with that car, apparently. So that's a shame for Jakes. He loses some points there to the championship. And Marius is going to take this one. If he can hold it together for another 8 or 9 laps, I don't know which lap, 18 of 27. I think Marius is going to take this one. Dylan is a steady 18, 17 seconds behind. Brandon was catching up, but he's made some mistakes apparently, because I can see some 121s. Then we have Tyler in 5th position. Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, I'm just looking at the standings at the moment, that if Marius does take this, he should still fall just short of Quicksilver.
So then we have a race till the end. We also have Dylan with 2-second penalty, Brandon with a 2-second penalty, Tyler with a 1-second penalty, Rudy with a 2-second penalty, Rockstar Mel with 3 seconds, and Stoltz with 5-second penalty. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end there. Alright, let's take that off there.
Please look at those times between Marius and Quicksilver. Can we jump there?
Oh, so there you go. There's some nice racing going on over there. Well, let's see what happens. I don't know if Marius let Doki pass, or Doki got a pass down one of the straights. It's very easy to get a time penalty, like a warning, and then you have to sort of slow down. So maybe that's what happened as well. If you cut a corner a bit too much, you do get a warning, and then you get a nice time penalty after that as well. So if you don't adhere to the warning and slow down. Ooh, Doki loses it there just onto the straight, so he's lost that momentum coming out of that turn.
I'm sure
that'll put Marius ahead. Good night, Toki. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have much to say, but yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Toki.
Cutting Beef looks extremely excited there in his camera shot.
The gazing eyes.
Smile.
And I think
T300 Beef.
It looks like a T300 wheelbase, correct?
That's exactly what it looks like. So Duncan's wife let him upgrade the kit apparently.
Look, I do thoroughly enjoy the G29. I have the T300 and the G29, but that belt driven is just it's another box of frogs. It's a beautiful.
It is a lot
feeling.
smoother. Though I personally believe that from a sort of backup point of view in South Africa, the 29 is still your safer bet.
Absolutely. It's
I know. I can only speak out of experience. Beef, is that a T300 base or a T500?
300.
300, okay. And the wheel on it?
Toms are extremely chappy there,
Yeah.
but it looks pretty.
No, that's the, what are they? Isolate. Oh, that's a really pretty.
Absolutely.
That does look nice. I don't know if that big thing in front helps with driving, but anyway.
What big thing in front of it? That on top of it?
Yeah.
That's a rev counter, shifter lights, and
It's essentially your dash.
etc. etc. That's super expensive in South Africa. I think it's almost $4,000.
My word.
Which is
160 quid.
360.
160 quid, correct.
160.
It's fine, Toki, you can make one for me.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've got solutions that'll cost you under £1. Honestly, yeah, the most brilliant wireless solution, especially for project cars. It works brilliantly. It's super smooth and it connects via your Wi-Fi. So there are other options, but yeah, that's the thing that entices people towards Thrustmasters. All the add-ons that you can.
Yeah, I hope Duncan's wife's not hearing that one now. You know that you could have done that with a cell phone.
Oh, Duncan, no, the cell phones that is only for South African market. That app is only functional in South Africa, not in the UK.
See,
No amount of quid can buy that app.
Quicksilver's not really letting off there, is he?
No, that's Doki. That's Doki. He will fight till the end. He wants that position. He wants to keep that those points, and you can see the car squiggling around the turns.
Can we skip to Scott and Rudy?
Oh, that was you. That was 100% you again, Doki. I'm sorry.
I feel bad.
So Dylan looks like he's going to come in a cool third. We've got about 5 laps to go. Brandon is in 4th. Tyler is in 5th. Rudy is doing some great work with that controller, but ultimately, yeah, you need a wheel, man.
Yeah, let's sort it out. Rudy will have a wheel within the next month. We've already sourced one.
See, we've lost 2 drivers.
It's just a case of getting it to him.
Yeah, that was Jake's, and I think Rockstar Mel is out as well.
Okay, this is my final goodbye. I'm going to say cheers.
Goodbye, Toki.
Thanks for having me, Memo. Good racing there, buddy. Had I had another couple of laps, I would have definitely given you a run for your money on that fastest lap.
That would have been cool. That would have been cool. Next week,
I would
you have the chance to redeem yourself next week.
I think I'll. How many races are left?
I'm actually not sure. It's like 2 or 3
I mean,
or 4.
like I said to Tyron, I didn't want to sort of compete in the beginning of the race. Also, because I'm only stepping into the championship now, I didn't want to sort of cause any unnecessary sort of like, I didn't want anybody to have to race me.
Toki, I think we can speak that the more the merrier at the moment, more cars.
No, for sure, but still, I'll stay out of the way, just for the sake of, or for the reason that I'm only joining the championship now, and I don't really have a shot at it.
I'll just answer your question from earlier. We do have 2 races left. Next week, Monday, will be on Monza.
Yeah, and that is which car?
What car is that?
That will be with a Ferrari. Oof, on my eyesight.
Tell me it's a SP333.
No. That is the SP333, correct?
Oh my word! That, people, if there's anybody watching, you gotta watch that. That car is one massive wing. It is, every time you make a mistake and you're too fast going into a turn, the car sticks and you look at it and you think to yourself, it can go faster. It is phenomenal. That car is brilliant. It's super quick, and it, like I said, it just, you know, the whole sticks to like the woolly blanket thing. Like,
okay, so as you can see over here, Tyler made some sort of mistake and Rudy got past him again, so Rudy's down to 5th position, or up to 5th position. Brandon in 4th, Dylan in 3rd, and then we have this battle which, you know, Dirkie unfortunately had a time warning or a track limit warning and he had to slow down there. So I'm pretty sure we'll be back in the 118s again, 119s. There you go. So I think that's the race with 3 laps to go. Marius has taken this race. If commentator's curse doesn't catch him out somehow.
stay off Rudy, please.
Well, so far he's been pretty calm and collected in the front there, so I don't think he has too many issues to worry about. That hairpin is another story, eh? That's
crazy.
It's one of those where you have to go slow to go fast, eh?
Yeah, that's exactly. But you do want that car to be turning nicely there. So, if you're really experienced and you're able to do it, and you have some buttons on your wheel, some spare buttons, you can actually change the brake bias to, you know, put it down a bit, so it's not so much in the front, so that the rear can actually turn around that corner faster. If you can hold it, that is, you know, because that's another issue.
Yep. And holding it with this car when power is down is not an easy task.
Not at all. You have to be very smooth with this acceleration. So Marius is killing it out there right now.
Absolutely.
Can be a 118, 119.5. Let's see what Dirkie does. Same time almost. So everyone's sort of chilled out now. There's no wheel-to-wheel racing right now. Nobody's close to 1 second to each other. So that looks like a time penalty for Marius actually, after that slowdown. So suddenly Dirkie caught up like a few milliseconds there.
There's a concrete curve just out of that previous corner that if you just clip a little bit too far, you take that concrete surface when you're coming out there, it's the fastest way through, and if you don't take it, you lose so much time.
Yeah, but it also unstables the car, so sometimes it's better to just, you know, keep it clean and try and get around the track in one piece. Because if you do lose it, you lose like 3 to 10 seconds, depending on how you turn.
That was very nicely caught.
I don't know if Rudy can actually catch Brandon. There's something was happening there. Oh, I'm sorry, Rudy. I'm so sorry about that, Rudy. That was my fault this time.
I think that's why we saw Brandon with his creative interpretation of track limits.
There you go.
Oh, I wonder if they captured my finish of the second race.
Like when you went over on the road.
When I rolled it.
I'm sure you can go back on the VOD on YouTube and
yeah, I'll go check there.
Go have a look there, and I'm sure you will find something there. So it looks like Dirkie has another, I don't know. It's a 4 second difference.
Emma, I'm very sorry we're not entertaining enough for you then, man.
No, I'm tired, man. I woke up early this morning. I woke up like really early this morning, so yeah.
Listen, if we aren't giving each other stick here, we're not doing something right, are we?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure all the people viewing this thing have fallen asleep, you know. So, sorry about that. We are unpaid commentators and we're doing this just for the fun of it, so...
And we suck coconuts at it.
I definitely... Yeah,
that's definitely unqualified.
So there's Marius passing, coming first. That'll put him like a few
points away from Durkee, which is leading this championship. I'm guessing because I have no notes in front of me about who is going. Dylan is going to come in at third.
Quicksilver is currently ahead points with 16 points.
So there's Dylan coming through. There was a nice, cool drive from Dylan. Basically, as soon as everybody had pitted, he came in third, and that was it.
Oh, good
This
show.
is Brandon coming through. So really, unfortunately, unable to catch Brandon. Too many unforced errors. They were just pushing it too hard. Rudy with an excellent drive coming down the final straight. Tyler's a few seconds behind him as well. There's Tyler finishing his race. You can also see Stoltz trying to get around the track with that damaged car for some reason.
In any case, I'm out, guys. I'll catch up soon.
Have a good one, Toki.
Okay, we'll see you. We'll see you in a couple of minutes again, Toki. So there is Stoltz coming across the track, the finish line, and yeah, that's somebody's tampon. Okay, so let's take a screenshot of that. Well done, guys. Giving it over to you, Dylan. Okay, well, I'll try. So how was that race for you, Dylan, coming in third?
Absolutely loved the whole thing.
So you took a long time to basically change those tires. You know, we were all wondering why you took such a long time. Why didn't you come in the first lap and just change those bad boys?
Because when I did my practice, the 27 laps were too many laps. So what would happen is you'd start locking up. So I did 7 laps and 20 basically brought me down to halfway. So I was still able to do the low 120s into those 119s. So that was all part of the strategy.
Okay, well, I don't know if that was such a good strategy because you were losing a lot of time as soon as everybody pitted in there. You know, they were going like 3 to 4 seconds faster than you. So I think that's why Doki and Marius caught you so fast, apart from being incredible drivers. I don't know if they're going to join us here. Hopefully they will.
Hopefully they will.
Yeah, so you'll have to interview them because I'm afraid of both of them. On the track and off track as well.
Oh my gosh, Memo. You're so funny.
No, not really, but anyway, thanks a lot for that. The sarcasm is always was your thing.
Thank you, man.
At least we got a smile from Duncan for that, you know. So that's Duncan showing off his nice wrists over there for the world to see.
Also letting the world know he is married.
Yes, proudly, Duncan.
He's concentrating now. Let him concentrate on ACC, you know. So anyway, I don't see Marius joining or Durkee joining. So Dylan, it looks like you were in the,
I'll take it.
The interview, and that's it.
Awesome. Well, guys, I just want to say a big thank you to Memo, to Tyron, as well as Toki for jumping in, and then our all faithful Duncan sticking out there and driving an ACC while sitting in the commentary box. Thank you very much for that. Byron, thanks very much for that very, very late can you help us, and stepped up to the plate. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. And to everyone that joined us on the stream, thank you so much, guys. We will be racing again on Thursday, and that is for round 6 of our ACC Porsche Sprint Cup. Looking forward to it. You can see Duncan's very excited for that. And then we'll have round 7 of our World Tour. Guys, all I can say is thanks for joining. We will see you on Thursday, and until then, thanks for watching. Yos.
Hello,
guys.
Hello.
I wonder why my thing doesn't give me a... Where's Dylan now?
He literally just ended the stream. He's apparently not the most patient of people, neither is Memo, so... You gotta put...
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I've practiced a couple of laps with Marius during the week, or last week, and I knew he was much faster than me. So yeah, once he got past me, I knew that he was going to leave me behind. So he was just too fast for me. But we were also on softs. But there was nothing left of the softs for me on the end of the race. I had like nothing on the left front and 1 millimeter on the right front. But it was fun while it lasted. So yeah, Marius chased me down with a really great pace, and he was nearly a second faster than me on his fastest lap. So yeah, there was no way that I could keep up with him.
Yeah, that was an awesome race. Very difficult on this narrow track with these bloody cars, but I had awesome battles with a couple of guys, especially with Dirkie. That was awesome. I knew his tires was giving trouble. I knew he put softs on because I saw that we were the same time in the pits. So I knew he went for the softs because I noticed that the temperatures was way cooler than what I expected. So I decided to put softs on, and he saw it obviously too. It was a great chase. We both buggered up a few times. I let him by once or so because of a slowdown, and then we battled again. It was awesome. Well done.
No, absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that there's lots of great action on the stream. I'm actually looking forward to going back and watching it. So guys, to the drivers, thank you very much for joining us. We will be back on Thursday. And next time we'll just wait just a little bit longer before we end the stream. Guys, have a great evening. We'll see you on Thursday night.